And I'm going to do that all the way along these edges. And if I want, I can leave the line work, or I can come in and I can blend out that line work and sort of drag it out. With my blender. I'll show you the difference. Kind of looks kind of nice blended. I tend to like blending. Okay. The other thing I'm going to do, I'm going to come in with my 2B. I'm also going to make that crease darker but softer. Along the cushions. But I'm going to make sure to, there's a couple of different ways you can do this. A couple of different ways to blend out, soften those cushions up, make them look more rounded. You can use lines, you can use your blender, a couple of different ways of doing it. Okay, now, the other thing we're going to do, we're going to give more light here, since our light source is here. We're going to leave this lighter, and we're going to have it get just the littlest bit darker as we go down the couch. But on the top of the couch, I want to leave a little bit of light. I'm also going to be careful about how I do this, because these arms, I want to make sure that the arms stand out as a tonal shift. So I'm going to come in here. I know where the line is. So what I'm going to actually do is going to make the back brighter, and I'm going to make the arm slightly darker. The top of the arm is going to be slightly darker. And what that's going to do is that's going to allow the shift in the tone here. So I'm just going to come in here, put in that tonal shift. See how I get this? I get this really nice cast shadow from the arm there. Isn't that lovely? I love that. Okay. Now this is a little bit too dark right here, so I'm just going to lighten this up. Just going to soften that up a little bit. I really want that bright. So instead of having too much darkness there, I'm just going to go in and I'm just going to draw it with my blender. There we go. That's better. Okay, so now what we have to do is we have to put in our cast shadows. So we have to figure out where our cast shadows are coming off of our couch. So we have cast shadows coming off the legs. We're going to have a little bit of light that's going to be underneath the couch, but then the cast shadow from the couch happens. Right? So maybe what happens, we have to figure this out. You know, you have to figure out where does the cast shadow fall. So Got cast shadow here coming off of this leg. We've got the cast shadow here. It's going to run the length of the couch. So I'm going to come in, I'm going to tone out my cast shadow. Depending on where my window is. Now I'm going to match the tone of my cast shadow to the tone of the line along the bottom of my couch. Okay, so got my lines coming this way, so I gotta match it. I gotta make my cast shadow the same direction. I'm gonna have cast shadow coming all the way out off of this line as well. My cast shadow is actually I'm going to make my cast shadow darker than my couch itself, but lighter than this darkest part of this leg. So I kind of have to play with these things. Plus I want to make it a little, I gotta get in between these tones, which is kind of tricky. And then the other fun thing is I gotta figure out, oh, my couch comes all the way this direction. So my cast shadow is going to be darker than the front of the leg. It's going to be lighter than the back of the leg. It's going to come up and it's going to curve. It's going to come up and it's going to curve. It has to approximate the shape of your couch, right? It has to approximate the shape of your couch. Otherwise, it won't make any sense. So what you can do is you can actually make your cast shadow darker underneath the couch than it is once it's not underneath the couch. So where it's underneath the couch, I'm actually going to make my cast shadow darker. And then once it comes out beyond this line right there, once it comes out beyond that line, I'm going to lighten it. Why that line, you ask? Because then it's out beyond the edge of the couch. And so it can get lighter. Da-da-da. Yep, once it gets out beyond the edge of the couch, the cast shadow can get lighter. And a cast shadow the edges can be a bit blurred. They don't have to be perfect. But again, I'm going to make them if you do a boo-boo like I just did, you're going to clean it up. You're going to come in, you're just going to clean up the edges. There we go. So there you go. You're going to take a piece of furniture and imagine, where does my light and my shadow fall? And you're going to shade it. And that is your assignment to do in your sketchbook. So first you have to draw the piece of furniture. And then you have to tone it. Okay? I still don't like how dark this is, because the light is going to hit there. It's too dark. Fix it. Keep in mind, if my light source is coming from that direction, what's going to happen? It's going to have a highlight on it. So if I have other things going on in the room, right, and I have a background, what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to create a highlight there once I get to that point. And actually what I can do is I can come in and I could put a highlight right there. Because there would be one. And if I have a full background, there's going to be a highlight right there. So I definitely do not want a dark line. I can't help myself. I like to blend them. Just remember, there's going to be more blending there and there than there would be here and here. If you get confused, just ask. Because I'll be happy to help you out. That's what I'm here for, guys. Okay? And I'm just going to have the light raking across there. Look at the furniture in your house as the sunlight hits it. Look at the furniture in wherever you happen to be as the light comes in and hits it. Okay? It'll begin to make more sense. Pay attention to what light does, and that will help you with this project. Okay? Remember, the biggest part about drawing that's important to do is to look. Good luck.